Hi, this is Summer from Summer's Tips and Stitches, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to soften red heart yarn. Now, I've always had a very bad opinion of red heart, and then I tried the red heart stripes. More specifically, I made a video about it, and I said, I'm sorry, red heart. After using it, it was really nice. It wasn't as awful as I thought I remembered red heart being. So when a friend of our family's had a baby, I was like, you know what? I think I'll try some of this red heart. Because if you look here, this bonbon is super cute. I thought it was really nice. I like this short variegated because it works very well with that thermal stitch, which is also another video. I might link those two videos in the description. So I bought the bonbon, but I think this difference is, as I pull out my label, it is called Super Saver Jumbo. Now I know when I do my Caron Simply Soft yarn, if I go buy the Caron Simply Soft 1-pounders or the Caron 1-pounders, they are not soft. They're very scratchy, so typically I don't use them at all. So I made this blanket, and I'll hold up a bit of it. I just did a simple scallop. I didn't do the twisty edge. I was like, this whole time, I'm like, ugh, it's just stiff and scratchy. And I've seen people all the time like, oh, once you put it in the wash, it's going to be fine. Now, I'm sorry if that's you, and I just feel like I mocked you. So, this is what this video is about. How can you soften red heart? Because to be honest, this blanket, I used 1.5 jumbo, and then a pink for the border, and I didn't even use like barely a third of it. So less than $10 to make this baby blanket. So here is what the first thing I did, which I recommend. Soak it in vinegar water, because something with the vinegar will cause a coating that is on the red heart to kind of fade away. So I fill up my sink, put a 1/4 cup of water, and, jam this sucker in. Let it sit there for 20 minutes. Then run it through a regular washing cycle. If you have a hand wash or a delicate cycle in your washing machine, that'll be perfect. And then put a full portion of your fabric softener in there. Dry it with the dryer sheets, and just like anything else, I like to leave it a bit damp and stretch it out and lay it flat. And it came out much softer. Now, is it a super soft like Caron? No. But it's also not as fuzzy as Caron. So that, worked good enough. Because I feel like these days, typically, they don't want you wrapping your babies in baby blankets. They don't want them laying in the crib with a blanket on them. So this blanket, like I said with the thermal stitch in a previous video, I think is a really nice play blanket. Lay it flat on the floor, put your baby on there, a couple toys, or maybe they lay. And I think this blanket will do just fine. Now, if you find that after that it is still not as soft, I did find some step-by-step instructions, and I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to also, in my description, type this out, because it will be a lot unless you pause your video and write out each step. So first, this is exactly what I did. Put it in your sink, cold water, or if it's a really big project, maybe your bathtub, but this just fit fine in the sink, for 20 minutes in cold water with a 1/4 cup of vinegar. And like I said, that part is, I think, to break down whatever coating they put on. And I don't even know if they put a coating, but I just feel like it's so scratchy, there must be some kind of coating. So step 1, sink full of water, 1/4 cup of vinegar. 20 minutes soaking. Rinse your project out twice. So maybe drain that, fill up your sink again, rinse it out, drain it, rinse it out, however you want, run it under water, but rinse it out thoroughly. Then, the next step this gal recommends is hand wash it with shampoo. Rinse it, hand wash it with shampoo a second time. Then, fully saturate with conditioner. Now, I guess depending on your size of your project, that could be a heck of a lot of conditioner. Now, she does say any brand doesn't matter. Now, obviously, you're probably not going to use your salon shampoo or conditioner, but it says you can get some cheap conditioner shampoo, so maybe some Suave or Great Value. Again, if you're doing a full-size Afghan, that can be a heck of a lot of conditioner, but it says fully saturate and let it sit for another 10 minutes. Now, the next step, after you've fully saturated your project with conditioner, 10 minutes later, she wants you then to fill up a sink with cold water, ice cold it says, and let it sit in there for an hour. Then rinse all the conditioner out. Now that could take a while, friends. You know how it is when you're rinsing conditioner out of your hair. So, go rinse it out maybe 2, 3, 4 times. Fill out a sink, squeeze it out, whatever you want. I don't know. But rinse it out. Maybe even use like your sprayer. Then, after you've thoroughly rinsed out the conditioner from your project, put it in the washing machine in the lightest setting you have. Now mine has a hand wash and a delicate. I feel like hand wash is softer than delicate. If you're afraid your project might ravel or it's small, you don't want it to beat around, put it in a pillowcase. Put it in there. Again, use your fabric softener. So, after it's run through your lightest wash setting, possibly in a pillowcase, now put it in your dryer with dryer sheets. Pull it out when it's a teeny weeny damp, just a little damp yet, and you can block it or lay it flat to dry. So like I said, I'll type that up and put that in description. I feel like that's a lot to do. The fabric softener in the washer works well, but again, it's still, quite frankly, and I don't mean to sound sassy here, I just feel like that's a lot to do when you could, think of all that conditioner, especially if you're making like a big Afghan. But if it is, I don't know if the cost effectiveness of the vinegar, the shampoo, the conditioner, the fabric softener, the dryer sheets, if that offsets the cost, or if maybe you got a bunch of free yarn, or you got a bunch on clearance, or maybe someone passed and you inherited some yarn, you can first try to run it through your washer with some fabric softener, and then your dryer with some dryer sheets, and if it's still not as soft as you want, try that detailed. Now I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to lay this flat so you can see what this blanket looks like. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just hold it up. So it's kind of longer. It's not as rectangle. It's more of a rectangle than a square. You could hold it up that way. But you see, I just did a plain scallop border where let's see, how did it start? Like how scallops are. You do 5 double crochets on one, skip 1, slip stitch, skip 1, 5 double crochets, skip 1, slip stitch. So that's what I did. Just a simple scallop border. And you know what? I'll tell you, Red Heart's pink matched really well with the Red Heart, with the pink and the bonbon. So it looks great in the picture. I'm very impressed with it. But I did definitely feel like as I was crocheting, like this part of my arm started feeling a little sore, and I was like, oh, poor baby. But that is what this video is about. How to soften some Red Heart. So if you like it, otherwise I will say if you did this thermal stitch with a Red Heart, you can make a really nice bath mat for your bathroom, or maybe a curtain or a table runner or placemats. And that doesn't necessarily matter, and it's nice and thick. A Christmas tree skirt. Those are some great projects that you could do with Red Heart, and if you didn't want to soften it. So maybe I'll do a little swatch of something and go through all this to see if it really does make it super soft. But that's the way you can soften your Red Heart. Otherwise, throw it in your washer with some fabric softener after soaking it in vinegar. I think that's going to be the key. I think the vinegar is the key. But that is that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and sharing my videos. I have a few yarn reviews I want to do. And that's all for today. Softening your Red Heart yarn. I hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you. Happy crafting.